Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of All Things Money. And today we're going to talk to a very special guest. I mean, they're all very special. We basically have Zaryan with us, who is a chef by profession, runs a great restaurant in Karachi called Market, and has been a brains behind many successful restaurants or innovative restaurants in Karachi and Islamabad. So let's just start. How are you doing, Zaryan?
I'm good. How are you?
So I'm great, actually. So tell us about your journey.
My journey started back in 2006 when I started working at Sheraton. So during A levels, I believe. So started working at Sheraton, did an apprenticeship because I always wanted to be a chef. So before going to or starting any industry, I think you should get a little bit of know-how, or before going to college also. कि आपको एक थोड़ी सी समझ हो कि आप किस तरफ जा रहे हो, क्या direction है आपका, is it a good future or not? So that's why I worked at Sheraton back in the day. And from there went to college in Switzerland, did my culinary arts from there, worked there a little bit, moved around a little bit in Europe, and then moved to the Middle East. Middle East में थोड़ा time काम किए, and then I moved back to Pakistan. Started working here, came back because of family, and here I am.
So, I mean, what are some dishes that you would say, or some entrees in the country that you would say are your baby, or something that you just created?
In the country?
Yeah, in the country, in the city, in the country, whatever.
I haven't what you call something like that. I would have not done.
I'm sure you've done something,
Or
or improved something which was horrible earlier. It's slightly less horrible now.
But the way of cooking, basically, what I focus on is techniques and methods. So whoever works with me, I try to make sure that they're following the right techniques to cook, to handle products and all of that.
But do we follow the right techniques?
Sadly, no.
And why not?
Because there's a lack of understanding, there's a lack of experience.
And why is that?
Inexperience. The chefs who are coming back, or whoever's been here earlier before, they're just not experienced enough to understand how to deal with products, or it's been a really fast thing for them where they've probably moved in from a dishwasher to a Combi 1 or Combi 2, and they came back to Pakistan thinking they've learned a lot and started giving out whatever they have.
So what I see here is over the last, I would say, 15 years, there has been an elevation in terms of the quality of cuisine here, or maybe it's more diverse. You've got more variety than, let's say, it was before 2010 or something. Don't you think that would have led to, let's say, more exposure, more experience?
That could have, but it hasn't in my view that I look at it. Matlab, the presentation definitely has changed. A variety more towards baked goods has changed, but the food on its own is pretty much the same if you look at it. It hasn't changed that much. Presentation has definitely changed. The way the plates are, the ways the chefs are pouring sauces and all of that, but the method of working is pretty much the same.
So the core product hasn't really improved, but how you sell it,
Yeah,
that has maybe evolved over a period. Because, I mean, I've always...
The world's also becoming more Instagrammable, right? So everything needs to be like on social media, and it needs to have that, what do you call, kind of appearance, if you look at it.
And that basically kills the whole product in the first place, in my personal
It does.
Because you're just doing it for the gram and nothing else. So it's just so insecurities coming out. That's a different story altogether. So yeah, so let's say last 15 years, I mean, we've seen a lot of burger places opening up. I've always, you can easily categorize what started happening when. You see a lot of burger places, let's say mid-2010s, then you see a lot of pan-Asian booming everywhere, and everyone's doing pan-Asian. It's like herd behavior. And then, I don't know, something else came in the middle. You got a lot of baos and of Southeast Asian cuisine opening up. And then you have this big, a few years of hot pots. And everyone has a hot pot, and they're basically mostly horrible. So we see people adapting. But then a lot of those things are essentially, for lack of a better word, bastardized.
Yeah.
How and why does that happen? When it starts, it's great, and slowly and steadily it starts losing the flavor, the ingredient, the quality, everything. And the moment you hit some kind of a critical mass, for example, hot pot in Karachi, there are 0 places which do a decent hot pot, and they were good places earlier. So what happens? Why is there just gradual decline in quality rather than improvement?
Firstly, I call it the bandwagon syndrome. That we suffer from a lot. Like if someone started something and is doing well, it usually starts well in the beginning. Reason because ek to they're not many. It's just one or two places that are doing it. And if it's an international, what do you call, social media kind of, what do you call it?
Phenomena.
Not phenomena, but more like something that's trending. That's just being followed. फिर अब उसका structuring जब आती है वो नहीं होता है. That's why it starts falling. Because शुरू में तो whatever they're using, they may be using really prime ingredients. For example, आपने जैसे hot pot कर लिया, they might be importing some kind of hot pot base internationally. आहिस्ता आहिस्ता करके they start what you call structuring it. देखते हैं यार इसमें पैसा नहीं बच रहा है. ठीक है, हम लोग शॉर्टकट्स यूज़ करना शुरू करते हैं, लोकल इंग्रेडिएंट्स उठा के लेकर आते हैं एंड दे स्टार्ट एडिंग दैट. तो वहाँ से एक तरह से डिक्लाइन होने लग जाता है. देन देयर इज़ अ वेरी सिवियर पोचिंग इशू दैट वी हैव. तो किसी जगह को कोई शेफ़ अच्छा है, फ़ौरन से बंदा पोच करके दूसरी तरफ लेके आ जाता है विद लाइक द डबल सैलरी एंड दे फॉलो द सेम रेसिपी. सो दैट्स वे यू सी अ बूम. जहाँ 50 रेस्टोरेंट एक जगह के हैं, इफ़ अ प्लेस हैज़ लाइक 15-20 शेफ्स, उनमें से अगर 10 चले गए हैं तो 10 नई हॉटपॉट की जगह खुलेंगी. अब वो कौन सा लड़का कितने स्टैंडर्ड पे क्या सीखा हुआ है, क्या डिलीवर कर रहा है, ठीक है. इफ़ ही इज़ नॉट डूइंग दैट ऑन पार, वो क्वालिटी और डिटीरिएट होती है. इफ़ ही इज़ डूइंग समथिंग सिमिलर, वो थोड़े टाइम तक चलेगी एंड देन इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली स्टार्ट डिक्लाइनिंग. दैट्स प्रीटी मच व्हाट हैपेंस.
So again, I mean, purely in terms of economics, we have this phenomena called the Schumpeterian, where essentially the more diversity one has, the more variety you have, the more innovative an economy or an industry gets, so on and so forth, and that's lead to better outcomes for everyone. What I see here is the bandwagon effect, where the more variety you have, that leads to more value destruction in the process, where you just revert back to your original I would say below average mean, and it just doesn't make sense. Again, I think what you're saying is the base, because our core, we just deviate away from the core, whether there's a core offering, where's the core training, so on and so forth. So one thing that, I mean, we were talking about this earlier as well, there was training, the sheer lack of training. How does one fix that?
Structuring. How kitchens are better schools, culinary schools. That is something we need. The ones that are right now, they're clearly not giving out quality, and it also what you call depends on the generation that we have that's working, those are coming in. If they want to learn, matlab, we're there to teach. It's on them also. Matlab, if I hire around 20 to 30 people, उनमें से एक या दो निकलते हैं who are actually passionate to do what they want. The rest are just there, वो जैसे दिहाड़ी लगाने वाले होता है ना. It's pretty much like that. So that's where you can't get quality. मतलब even the government needs to have this structuring. Education is a very important thing, right? Which teaches you all these things, where आपको एक ज़िंदगी के अंदर एक goal मिलता है where you want to be. ठीक है, you won't be on a junior position all your life. So once you actually go through those efforts and आस्ता आस्ता आप grow करते हो, that is when you start delivering. तब एक जाके पूरा change आता है.
I mean, I once did an online course on edX, so Harvard course essentially, on the science of food, and it had two components.
I even did that.
A physics component and a chemistry component.
During COVID, right?
Yeah, and so the point remains that the physics component and the chemistry component, and they're actually difficult courses. You need certain background in both physics and chemistry to do that. Do you think anyone here can actually do those?
Oh, I can't tell. Matlab, to be honest, the chefs that I've seen right now, matlab in my you could say around 10-12 years in Karachi, Pakistan, I haven't seen there. Very few who'd be interested. मतलब molecular gastronomy बीच में आई थी, which we even did. मतलब it's about textures and understanding के किस तरीके से आप खाने का texture change करते हो. तो वो भी there's a lot of what you call research and research that you have to do before you start nailing it or like creating it. तो I haven't seen many chefs, and to be honest.
So that's the thing. There is lack of education. There is lack of training. And what you have essentially apprentices who just become chefs, because there is no clear cut, I would say, route to become a chef or acquire knowledge, so on and so forth. If you can just learn in the kitchen, that's basically it, and that's about it. So that's on the kitchen side. Let's talk about the business side. How does that work? Because the business side should be dictating what the kitchen does. Why isn't that dictating it? Or is it really dictating it?
The business side dictating the kitchen, could you clear it out a little bit?
Let's say the kitchen is only going to cook what the consumers demand. And if the consumers demand mediocre stuff, the kitchen is obviously going to produce mediocrity. Does that make sense to you?
It shouldn't. Personally, I wouldn't. I don't do that. Although wherever I've worked, I like serving things that I like. And obviously, what you call what people prefer also. You have to, because at the end of the day, you got to make money.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, you're just going to close down. So you have to do certain changes, but always एक element ऐसा होना चाहिए जिसके अंदर हल्का हल्का करके change आ रहा हो. Where the chefs become more confident, they understand. And कोई भी like kitchen के अंदर, whoever the senior chef is, it is basically his responsibility. All the juniors working under him, कि एक structure सही तरीके से हो, सफाई हो, तरीके से काम करें. If they're handling meat, they should know what SOPs they need to follow. And all of that, ये एक तरह से, it's like a, it just keeps on going, like a circle. तो वो क्या कहते हैं अपना factor आता है इसके अंदर.
So again, I think I'll just frame it even better. What is the dynamic between the person who owns a restaurant and the head chef? Like, I am certain, I've seen places where the owner is absolutely stupid, for lack of a better word, and he would push the chef to do things that are horrible. And the business eventually ends anyway. So how do you see that dynamic evolving?
That
Has that
can't
changed
change.
over the years, or it's more of a Seth saying, ye kar lo?
It's still the same, pretty much the same. There's a big, I think there's 70% restaurants like that, and there are only 30% who stick to their gun and serve what they like, and do it properly.
Because what I've seen is chef-owned places are definitely much better run and stand the test of time rather than those, like someone's bored, I'll just open a kitchen, maybe some whiten my money, so on and so forth. So those things just close down.
Yeah, they do. And eventually आप उनका वो भी देखते हो, अगर आप खाना भी खाने जाते हो, आप उनकी सर्विस देखो, हर चीज़ देखो, तो it's not on par at all. तो या क्या कहते हैं अपना, that to change that, I have literally क्या कहते हैं अपना no understanding of that, to be honest. Okay, if people are changing their black to white or whatever they're doing, मतलब like that's pretty much that they were. And एक तरह से I think there's this thing also where people just want to be restaurant owners because it looks cool. कि शाम में मैं बैठूं, मेरे दोस्त बैठे हुए हैं और मैं खाना मंगा रहा हूँ और हम सब बैठे हुए हैं, तो उसके लिए भी रेस्टोरेंट खोलते
I mean, if you've got money to burn, that's like, why not? No, bismillah.
तो उसी के अंदर आपके जो ये शेफ्स हैं वो बर्बाद होते हैं, बिकॉज वो भी पैसे के लिए काम कर रहे हैं. अभी एक फॉर एग्जांपल एक बच्चा है जिसकी तनख्वाह है जो बेसिक होती है 35,000 रुपये, 35-40,000 रुपये, एंड वहाँ से कोई बंदा उसको पोच करे और 1.5-2 लाख पे रखा दे, वो क्या डिलीवर करेगा?
True, because he's not really learned the
Exactly.
ropes of the trade.
And the kid has literally no structure of how he needs to work in the kitchen. He starts, now then what you call, it follows another pattern also. That kid will start poaching other kids जो उसके साथ में, who would be his colleagues and all. He'll get them and all. So it's an entire generational issue that we're facing in Pakistan right now.
What underlies a successful restaurant? What are the core ingredients of a restaurant that stands the test of time?
Quality, consistency, and understanding what you're doing. That's what I've learned after 21 years. Like with market, the way we're working is that we are making sure that we're measuring every single thing. Quality is being checked. There's an entire QC department that whatever's made, it goes through that. We taste them individually. Me and my partner, he's also a chef. So both of us, we work together on that to make sure that if you come to market, like imagine you were there on the 1st of May and you're there now, you'll get a very similar consistent product every single time.
Because yeah, that is consistency.
Yeah.
I just believe
So
is
that
more
is really
important.
important for any restaurant to be consistent and also deliver quality with that.
And that is a part of consistency. I
that
mean,
is
if there
definitely,
is consistent
yeah.
quality, so that means, I mean, day in, day out, I get the same product. And frankly, that is the most critical
Yeah.
thing. So how are you able to ensure this consistency? Because if the staff isn't trained well, if what you're saying, there are structural issues, so on and so forth, there will be consistency issues as well. How do you ensure consistency?
We ourselves are trained, so we're controlling that. Like the limitations you give everyone. For example, if the kid is working, if a kid that comes in our kitchen, he'll start working on the basics first, where he'll go towards butchery first, where he'll understand structure of meat, how to break it down. He'll start understanding that. We'll keep on doing that for a good 6 months, 8 months. After that, we'll shift him to another section. That is where he'll start to learn. To make their basics strong, that whoever goes forward, for us as a chef, for me, whoever's gone forward, they take my name with them also. So it's my reputation on the line also. what I have to understand. So that's why I try to teach as much as possible, giving them a proper structure, making them understand how they need to work in a kitchen. For example, to create a sauce, to create any single thing, how do they need to work towards it? What product ingredients they need to get. Okay, that is also something that I want to share, is that quality of ingredients locally made is not on par if you compare it to the West, because there's a very big standardization issue.
So
It's
again,
more about getting yield rather than giving quality.
yeah, I think that is extremely important. If we just track this, obviously, and
Because it starts there. It starts where the fisheries is. It starts where our abattoirs are. It starts where the vegetable market is. Everything starts over there.
from
We're
the core.
kind of like the last end users. If those things are not structured, no quality will be able to come from
Yeah,
it.
so I think that's an absolutely great point, because pre-COVID, I would say there was a lot of imported stuff that was coming in, and we had issues, blah, blah, blah. And post-COVID, a lot of people did try to do some kind of import substitution. A lot of local products came about, a lot of good quality local products came about. And then I just see a lot of those simply, they have fizzled out. Some have gained strength. You still see some good products, but overall I just feel that they couldn't really get the traction.
Because they can't sustain. It's not regularly available also for certain things.
Exactly. It's not,
That
the
is why,
consistency
exactly,
isn't there.
though, whoever's producing it also, he'll probably get the product for a while, and after that it'll just go out of the market. You won't be able to get it. Maybe it's because of rates that they want to get them higher, because even for them to produce something, there's also a back-end supplier for them. If he's not giving quality product, or he stops the supply and to increase prices or anything like that, obviously the person producing it will suffer.
So how do you fix this problem? I mean, this is a full supply chain problem. Like, where do you start fixing this?
If you can go back in time.
You can. I mean, we're here right now, and we say, okay, you know what, let's just become a great food country. We're not. We just say we are. We're not.
Are you talking from the government sense or the people like us?
And I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
when
has
you
to both
when you
ways.
talk about abattoirs, and when you talk about vegetable markets, and when you talk about the full farm value chain, there's tons that the government needs to do, from ensuring there is sufficient cold chain available, to how things are stored or how things are processed and how things actually get to your, let's say, kitchen. There's a full value chain that the government can fix. What do you think needs to be done? I mean, you've got 20, 25 years of experience. What are 2, 3 critical fixes you would say, okay, you know what, if we fix this, maybe a lot of things will be better. For example, if you ask me, I'll say there needs to be like proper cold chain from farm to the table. You need to have a full cold storage spine in place to ensure everything is stored at the appropriate temperature, rather than a lot of that being wasted. That is one thing that you can do. What else?
For me, what I think, what you're asking is, the government needs to work with people who are in the industry,
Okay.
who are actually going through it, who are suffering, or who see the problem happening. And they need to connect with them to understand what sectors, which areas. For example, if you come and ask me, I'll tell the meat.
So let's
Because
talk
that's
about
where
meat.
That's where we
what do we
struggle
do
the
with
most. Like the breeding, the way the cattle are being handled, the way the abattoirs are being run, and after that, what you said, the cold chain. There's no storage facility, and it's also, I think, something that happens in this country, in this part of the world, where an animal gets slaughtered and it gets sent away there and then. There's no to make sure the quality of the animal. They need to understand the grazing, every single part, how the animals are being treated. All of these things they need to come in place, where there's a proper structure that they follow. For example, if you look at the most basic breed internationally is the Angus. The way it's bred, the way it's kept, the kind of diet does it get to make sure that there's a better quality meat that's coming out. And after that, when it's slaughtered, it's kept in a proper standardized room temperature controlled room, where it's completely processed, and then it comes in the market. So it's an entire chain starting from scratch, going all the way till the end user. So that needs to be completely structured. We need structures in every department, where it comes to vegetable, agriculture, aapka ho gaya, where it comes to meat, where it comes to anything else, even the fisheries if you take it.
Fishes are
Yeah, if you
worse,
go to the
actually.
fisheries, it's like horrible. You can't stand there for more than 5
No,
minutes.
fisheries are worse, and
Yeah.
you need and this is why we don't have a lot of fish or meat exports, because the value chain isn't there. So for example, I've worked on like multiple meat projects, and a lot needs to be done, starting from actually designating disease-free zones.
Definitely.
You cannot expect someone to eat your meat when
Yeah.
you're not even sure if it's disease-free or not. So
Exactly.
that is where you really start from. You gotta breed properly, and then just like it's like a 5-7 year process.
Exactly.
It's not
So
something that
you
can be
have to
done
follow that, and that is
overnight.
when structure will change. It's a very big issue that needs to happen overall all over this country. And also the government, I believe, they need to find out areas which are good for certain products. They need to start understanding them and start boosting towards it.
And for example,
For example, if avocados, they're coming in from abroad. If you can grow a certain type of avocado, you see a region, for example, if it's somewhere between Abbottabad, Islamabad, that area is good for growing it. Although you need to understand the land also, right? When you're growing anything, you're doing any kind of product, agriculture, if you're going to agriculture also, you need to understand that this is the area where wheat grows best, this is the area where tomatoes grow best, this is the area where potatoes grow best. So you need to understand these things also.
so doesn't the market respond to it? For example, I've personally seen avocados, a lot of local avocados as well. They used to be quite a bit back in the day. I mean, I'm talking a few years back. I don't know about right now.
They're still coming
They're
from
still coming.
Islamabad, yeah.
There used to be a lot of avocados from Islamabad, Swat wala jo region, from coming from there, and then you had tons being imported from Kenya for God knows what reason. So why
There's a
can't?
quality difference, there's too much fiber in the local ones.
Okay.
Yeah, if you open one up, you'll see a lot of strings, a lot of that in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when
yeah.
you see the Western ones, because they're more controlled the way they're grown. So that's why they can kind of not exactly control the structure, but to a certain extent, they know that how much it'll grow, what yield it'll get.
So how, again, avocado, you've grown the avocado,
Yeah.
right? You know you can grow an avocado. How do you improve the quality of that product when it's grown? Does the market feedback loop work in this case?
Market feedback, apart from the farmer, needs to have knowledge of what they're growing.
I mean,
That's also important.
farmer
There might be a
avocado तो
different.
उगाई दिया ना, वो तो-
अब देखें avocado है. It's not important that it has just one. There's only one type of avocado. There could be 20 different types of avocado. So there needs to be a department where they understand that this is high in fiber, this is low in fiber. It's good for this soil. You can grow it over here. So there's an entire understanding of how to even grow one single product.
So, I mean, a friend always used to say, there are 1,000 varieties of potatoes.
Yeah.
And it's the starch content and
Yeah,
everything. There are 1,000 different varieties, and that's why you cannot. I mean, I was really
Something that I've experienced personally, because we used to do that. We used to do those triple cooked chips back in my restaurant. So every morning, the potatoes used to come in. A guy used to taste them if they're sweet or not. Because what I've learned is that a certain amount of time, for example, just give an example, like January to June, there are two varieties of potatoes that come in. One is the red one, the other one's the white one, the yellow. The flavors change.
Yeah.
They become opposite. At one season, the red ones are sweet. The other seasons, the red ones become salty. So you got to understand that. That's how we used to make potatoes.
How do you capture the knowledge? I think this is great insight. And how do you capture?
We need more people and either get them in from internationally and who can educate the farmers, who can educate all these sectors and use their help to develop. That's how you got to do it.
Because again, I'm just moving from restaurants to macro at
Yeah.
this point. My producer hates me.
Because that's where it starts. That's all where it starts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So macro may, and this is why we don't really have any agricultural exports, because we're just not producing things that the world needs.
Like I said earlier, it's more about yield, how much you can make, rather than producing quality goods.
No, but our yield is lower as well. That's
Yeah.
like the worst part. We suck at both the yield and quality both. So that's a terrible place to be in. All right. So yeah, I mean, there are supply chain issues, and that obviously affect your business. There are also supply chain issues with imported food, and I'm just sympathetic towards restaurant owners who just have to go through so much hoops to get a basic quality product in place here. What's your view on that?
That depends how the international market is working, to be honest. Like the war currently, like a lot of our imports are coming in from Dubai, especially when it comes to food. Like from cheeses to all of that. Dubai became like a hub for us to get anything from the West to Pakistan. Like it's a problem getting it directly. So Dubai was very easy. And every year, because of Gulf food, a lot of these restaurant owners and businessmen used to go there, explore different products. So it's an entire range that they show. And from there, we used to get in stuff. And now, since regulations are becoming more difficult, and like there was a recent issue that everyone's faced is there needs to be a halal label.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? And to get that halal label, if you want to order cheese, you'll have to order an entire, almost like 2 tons of cheese. So the company puts the label on it. They won't do it for like 5 to 10 pieces.
Certain minimum
Exactly.
MOQ.
So there's an MOQ to that. So that made a problem for us, like to get stuff in. That was an issue. So the government needs to either do a study of what products these restaurants are using and how can we produce them locally.
I think it's more.
That's more easier for people.
It's more than just what restaurants are using. I mean, I know people who did this halal thing, and I hope they're watching. They're not good people. So, see, that's a thing, because it's basically what we call a non-tariff barrier. You couldn't put tariffs on it for XYZ reasons. You're like, yeah, just say, the ingredient should be in Urdu, and it needs to have a halal label. Suddenly that becomes a non-tariff barrier, and you can discourage imports. I mean, it's great for 3 months, but it completely destroys an industry and just creates more problems. I'm just aware of tons of issues with soya sauce right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is being smuggled from China right now, as of this point, through the Gilgit-Baltistan route, so on and so forth. So I fully agree with you that someone somewhere needs to start talking sense and do something about it, because this basically kills your local industry. You cannot develop new products here, and whoever is using it then cannot add value to those products either.
And also there's certain things that you just can't grow or what do you call produce. So you have to use imports. For example, you said soy sauce. Locally now, I don't know anyone who's making it. Like I have never seen soybean in the local market. Maybe they're being exported. But locally, if they're available, we'll try to make it, or someone or the other will try to make it. But there's certain things that you need to understand or cannot be produced.
Yeah, that's
because soya sauce is like a generational thing. You can't just get it here and say, okay, I make the best one. So you got to understand these things. Certain things you have to get them from abroad. That is how the world works. Certain countries make something good, certain countries don't make something good. So there's an entire barter system that you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, coming back to our point, essentially, this is what we call a global value chain. How integrated you are to the global value chain, and our integration is very low across the board, because, as you said earlier, certain countries make certain things, so you import those things and you send out much better products. You add value and send it out. We're just still stuck in that part where like, nahi, hame kuch import hi nahi karna hai. So it's just a very bad mental place to be in.
It depends on, I think, whoever is running it at that time. Like the government body or whoever's there, they need to have an understanding.
Across the board, there is an understanding that we can do everything on our own, and that's why you're not able to do anything on your own as well.
That's being ignorant, I believe.
That's being ignorant. So I've always had this thing. So if you want to export, let's say, and one thing I've learned, there are 2 cases I absolutely love. One is that of Norwegian salmon, and how it basically became the fish of choice for sushi. How literally the Norwegians crafted a market for their salmon in Japan. You've probably heard of that, you probably read about it. And it took a few years, but now Norwegian salmon is everywhere. It's just one of the bigger exports. And another one I like is of how pad thai, which never really existed in Thailand, became it was specifically designed for export. Okay, you know what? This is the pad thai. This is the exact ingredients we'll have. And yet, just export it to everywhere. Whoever.
If you just take this point and understand how the government works. Look at their understanding.
And this is in the 50s.
How they're targeting tourists to actually create something for them. Now it became standard in Pakistan. Any Thai restaurant you go to, like pad thai would be more Thai than Thai.
Hey, pad thai, because pad thai doesn't exist in Thailand. That's the best part. So
it's path to power. Basically, that is their
They exported it, and whoever the Thai expats were, they were essentially given loans by the government to open restaurants. Suddenly, they created a market for their own product. What do you think Pakistan can do in this context?
Like the same, like you said, like you just explained it in a way, where the government helps out people to actually create those markets.
So what one product, we say, okay, Zaryan, create one product that can just represent Pakistan globally. Let's just pick one product and just roll with it.
I would be with mutton. Mutton.
Mutton.
Yeah.
What mutton?
It depends on what breed we have. Although we'll have to really do a research on it.
Let's just say, you know, with mutton, let's say you've got Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
Everyone does Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
And then the funniest thing in Korean barbecue, you know, globally people just cook their own food. Here you got a guy cooking for you.
Because we're privileged.
There's
In everything.
the classic, I hate to say
That's like,
it's feudal at this point where you like Korean barbecue. The whole point of Korean barbecue
that you do it
is
yourself.
to cook your own food. But no, you've got a guy who's cooking for
People
you.
don't want to,
why?
man. People don't want to experience it.
So, just unbelievable. It happened to me once and I was just shell shocked. Never mind. So, point being that what one product do we...
Be a bit more specific.
Let's
exactly.
say if you want to say, you know, we want Pakistani restaurants.
Yeah.
Because Pakistani restaurants are Indian restaurant right now. We want one Pakistani product that is globally renowned. And you have like random people opening up, like people are opening up like bloody matcha coffee places here, you know, or someone's opening like Korean barbecue, or you got like Korean chicken, or you got a Thai place. What can that be for Pakistan?
Really need to explore that.
Biryani?
Not biryani. It's not even ours, no? That's also another problem.
I mean,
the
everything
problem
is
is
assimilated
our
anyway.
cuisine is not our cuisine at all. It's been, obviously we were part of India to a certain extent.
So what can we
But
do?
then,
Let's say mutton. Let's say we just make something
I think
mutton.
our, what do you call the ye jo hamara northern the northern food that we have, that is something that we could really like.
It's just mutton and just mutton and salt.
It's just
that's
amazing, and the way they make it, it's amazing. I personally love it.
So, I mean,
the Shinwari style and all of that,
you-
it is just unbelievable.
You basically say like bite-sized mutton.
Yeah. You could make it fancy if you want to. You could do it, you could sous vide the mutton for like a good 48 hours, then serve it on like a nice naan cracker, do some kind of spheres of yogurt or something like that. Mix around with flavors what you understand.
So essentially a more evolved shawarma.
Yeah, kind of.
A more sophisticated shawarma.
In a way, yes, you could say that. But then again, that's also copied by someone else.
I mean, rap is everywhere. I mean, I always say about family.
But a lot of these things that you were talking about, salmon and all of that, they've also come in from the US also. A lot of the structural changes that have happened over a period of time with different cuisines also, with Japanese accepting salmon so much and all of that, it's also happened because of the United States also.
The demand there.
Yeah.
So yes, so let's say we have mutton. Okay, we just say, you know, we just do everything mutton. We just specialize in mutton.
Because what I've learned is that I stayed in Europe for a while and people don't accept mutton over there that much. They don't like the smell of the meat. Because there is probably something that we could do where we start exporting it or create something that can go internationally and represent Pakistan.
So that's the thing, right? What you do is basically create that product and then you sell the ingredients for that product.
Yeah.
You're not selling mutton sous vide. You're essentially selling mutton and the masala and everything that goes with it. And
You
that's
could even
how
do tin products, what do you call that, could go internationally. Because it's a lot about convenience now. For whoever's working, a lot of people don't want to spend time in the kitchen. That's pretty much what our concept is also at market. It is a lot about, you don't have time, the sauces, everything we have. It'll literally take you 15 minutes to cook an entire dish of pasta.
Okay.
Yeah. 7 to 10 minutes for your pasta to boil. Heat the sauce, toss it, add some cheese, you want to add some more meat to it. You're ready in 15 minutes.
So the future is more, I would
Convenience.
say, packaged
It's
and
more
convenience rather than anything else.
That's what the future is headed towards. Because people's lives are becoming more busy. If you look at the way we are using social media, our attention span is decreasing over time. So you don't have that much time to do stuff. So that's also a very big factor that we have to look at in future.
Yeah, I think this is one
How the trends are being followed, how the new generation is accepting stuff, what do they like, what do they not like. You spoke about coffee, there's in that also what you call, that's all imported. The coffee beans that we're getting. They're coming in from Kenya, they're coming in from Ethiopia, they're coming in from Brazil, Colombia. We use Colombian beans. And so that is also what you call. And you can understand, like, there could be a region that could grow in Pakistan. If you look at India's recently, what you call, started growing their own coffee. And they're actually doing really well.
Okay.
So you need to understand, just like I said earlier, like the government needs to understand which regions, which areas are good for what, and then they start what you call using them. So that's where once they start growing it, it's going to be a 2-3 year process where those products would grow, there'd be a quality, and you get someone internationally who knows what quality is, he helps you in producing that, and then you give it to the local market, that's how it's going to grow, and from there you can start exporting it also.
So that's the thing, right? I mean,
There's an entire chain.
You can grow it, But to take it to the next level, you need a lot more hand-holding.
Definitely.
So it's not something, I think this is the important way where, government does try to do things, to get things done. But it's more than just seeding it. It's about taking it to the next level, and that's maybe like hand-holding for 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, you need proper visionary people who have that vision also to take it. Because a lot of people, you're not getting that yield. You're not making money that much in the beginning.
So
that's where they give up.
Huh.
They don't see a future of it. So you need people who have a vision towards things to actually grow these things or take them to that level. You need to have a belief where you're going to grow a product. Yes, it's going to fail 4 times, 5 times, but you got to still keep on doing it. Like for me, I'll tell you from my personal experience, success was never, it wasn't easy for me to get. Like it took me 21 years to actually open a project that is, alhamdulillah, doing very well. So it took me years. If I would have given up in the middle, I would have changed my industry, probably gone somewhere else, gone in trading or something like that and done that. So you need people who have a vision, who have that understanding, who can see stuff. Like I have been so criticized on different forums, all of that, but I've never given up. You got to mute the noise and stay focused. Always stay focused. Yeah. Because see, food is also subjective. You can't satisfy every single person. And it also depends on the kind of household you come from.
Yeah.
What upbringing, your mom, your family, what food was made in your house. That, it all depends on that. And it shows the kind of questions people are asking.
Okay. And what are those questions?
Just generally about food, like what is best, what is this, steaks, this, that, whatever questions they ask on social media, that's pretty much, it shows where the person comes from.
So how many people order well done steak?
See, that is also subjective. If a person who's grown up in a house where meat was always cooked max, he'll always want that.
Okay.
It'll take him time to accept it. Probably once he gets the understanding, where he understands that a medium steak, it's not blood, it's juices, he might start accepting it. He might eat it once and then he'll understand that, oh, well done is so tough to eat. My jaw literally breaks, and if I have a medium, it's going to go down a lot easier. So that's where you need to be a bit experimental with things. Exactly. Sizzler steak still works, man.
Sizzler steak still works. Sizzler steak still works. But if I hear things, the sizzle, that's.
I don't like it, but once in a while I'll do have it.
That's a signal.
I'll go have it. It's just for that kind of guilty pleasure back in the day. Old.
I mean, guilty pleasure. I mean, still fine. If I hear the sizzle, that's a signal to actually get out of that place. It's a very clear signal to move out. All right, so I think that again, the consumer preferences, one thing that I've learned over the years, as overall income levels change, as they increase, people get more sophisticated, they travel more, they understand more, and with social media, there's a lot more knowledge that seeps through, that just moves on. For example, matcha is like everywhere.
Yeah.
And I have no clue why, but it's everywhere.
It's a trend. That's what I was saying in the beginning also. People follow social media like anything. It's become a part of your life.
What next after matcha?
After matcha, to be honest, I think the new trend that's going to happen is that these coffee shops are going to close down. They're going to be cheaper coffee machines. People will be able to extract coffee from home.
I think that's already happening.
It has started.
The funniest thing is the first coffee you get in the city is like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
सुबह 8 बजे निकलो coffee भी नहीं 7 बजे भी 10 बजे coffee मिलेगा.
Exactly.
And
so the first cup of coffee you have it at home.
A friend always used to say, coffee places are actually dessert places. They just like calling themselves coffee, but they actually serve dessert. Coffee is just like a thing.
They're not like, even like for us, like the highest selling is our Spanish latte.
Yeah, people are.
You go in Spain, you won't even get it.
See, sort of about Spanish latte, Spanish omelette, like, never mind.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he went to Spain, he was like, dude, I was looking for Spanish latte.
Yeah, they just call it latte there. And I see that people have coffee at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Like it's there to help you out, like early morning, yes, have it at that time. It's good, it starts your day off. But don't like overdo it, even though I used to overdo it a lot. Because we're tasting also constant all day. Like you got to look at extractions. Even coffee itself, it's like a lot of science in that.
Yeah.
Like how you grind it, how your grinder is working, what texture is giving it out. Then it goes in the machine. Is your machine temperature controlled? Is the extraction happening at the right temperature or not? Then the shot might be bitter. How to improve that? So that entire thing, we have to go through around like 4 to 6 shots a day.
Yeah.
We understand that we're giving consistent coffee.
So what's the next big trend do you see after matcha? I mean, we've had bubble tea earlier, which I don't think
It didn't
worked
work.
here.
It didn't work.
Why didn't it work? It works
I don't
everywhere
know.
in
It
the
works
world.
everywhere in the world. It works on a very small scale, and right now also what do you call? There are a few places.
There are like 3 places
Yeah.
in Karachi. That's it. Why does it? I
I
never
think
understood
we
this.
always overdo stuff. Even what do you call anything? You take what do you call yogurt,
Froyo.
yogurt of Froyo. That happened. That was a boom in Karachi. Like in
I had, like,
Zamzam, I
4
remember
places
there were
on,
around like 12 places in a
12
row.
places in a row, huh?
So that just started. So I think we overdo too much. I think people need time to accept stuff. The things need to come in gradually, where there's an acceptance that happens, and automatically then there'll be a market for it also, which will grow, or probably be consistent for a while. So that's also a problem that we have. We overdo stuff. Like just do it, just open.
So
open,
we had
open.
bubble tea, just crashed out, barely any bubble
Even
tea.
tacos, I remember back in the day.
Like so many
Taco
tacos.
Bell, Nacho Nana, all these places opened up like crazy. And there were lines outside, and I had like within a matter of a good 4-5 months, one by one, every place started shutting down.
And everything just shuts down then.
And Mexicans pretty Pakistani, to be honest. Birria taco is literally like Nihari, dude.
I know, but
It's
yeah, I
literally
will
Nihari.
disagree there, but yes, it is like Nihari.
And
Yes,
the
I mean,
pico di gallo kya hai? What is it?
हाँ.
It's kachumar salad.
कचूमर सैलेड हाँ मतलब वही
It's
चीज़
pretty,
है
there's so much similarities.
हाँ.
But yet again, there could be one spice factor or taste factor that'll just put people off and they won't like it.
Okay, so again, coming back to a question, what next? I mean, as a restaurateur, as someone who's literally...
What is next? I think there's gonna be more Asian restaurants. I think so.
Already, what Asian at this point?
I don't know, Japanese, Korean.
You've done Japanese. You've done Japanese to death, and it's all mediocre
Could
at this
be.
point.
I literally, we're just working with. The way I work is that I put my head down and focus on what I have with me.
But you would have people asking, right? Matcha nahi hai.
Yeah. That happened in the beginning. In the middle. Recently.
Huh.
A while back, there wasn't matcha coming in from Japan. And that was a problem. So I don't know if matcha stops then.
So I mean,
let's see.
someone, a new trend comes up, like people just like random.
But in all honesty, I've seen so many people who come in, they order a plain matcha, they hate it. Then they put in 3 pumps of vanilla or something like that, then they start loving it.
Oh, वो तो मीठा कर दो ना.
Exactly.
उसमें
So
मिठास
what's
डाल
the
दो
point of having it when you can't accept the basic flavor?
Again, it's a dessert shop,
Yeah.
not a coffee shop. That's the point there, right? I mean,
Even
matcha.
we do that, mother. There's so many things that I do, like tiramisu latte.
Huh.
Like personally, I wouldn't do it. Like putting an entire slice of tiramisu on top of a coffee. Why would you do that?
Sour tiramisu.
Like it's like I drink an espresso shot with like a little bit of water to it. I dilute it a little bit. That's how I have it. Or the max I'd go to is a cortado.
So tiramisu, I mean, it's like, who does it better here?
Good tiramisu?
Yeah.
I haven't had a good tiramisu. to be
Exactly
honest.
my point.
The lightness, I think where they mess up is the sabayon.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they really mess up. Where the egg and sugar, you got to heat it up on a bain-marie and like.
Well, no,
really take
you
it
just
through.
don't get it.
Well, I started my career as a pastry chef.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I deviated towards the hot kitchen, working in all different sections. It was just for understanding. So I used to make tiramisu a lot back in the day, and it's supposed to be light, airy, and it's a very classic. It doesn't ask for much. Like even the quality of the cocoa powder on top of it, that really matters also.
Yeah.
So the entire thing, how the lady fingers are soaked in, if they're over soaked, you just make a mash out of it. These kind of things, all these things really matter. I haven't tasted a good tiramisu in Karachi.
Yeah, exactly that I agree with. So what do you think are the most popular dishes in the country? Like entree, you open a restaurant and the owner is like, I want these 3 things on the menu.
There's definitely the famous tarragon sauce.
Tarragon sauce
That's
and
there,
everything.
the pepper sauce, the mushroom sauce, or you'll always hear the Swiss burger, the mushroom cheese
Swiss
Yeah.
burger.
And that sauce that they add, it's just powder with water.
Yeah.
They don't go through the effort of making jus properly. You have to roast the bones, roast the vegetables, let it simmer overnight. The next day you strain it, then you take it to a different stage and where you create demi-glace. They don't do that. They just take powder, put it in, mix it and give it to people. And they love it.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's...
GMO is also very appreciated in this country.
What?
Anything that's GMO.
Okay.
That people really like, artificially made or it has that because it's made for a purpose.
It's made to be liked.
Yeah, it's made to be liked.
Huh. It's
So you will
literally
like it.
structured to be
Exactly.
liked.
So anything that you're having, you need to have an understanding of what you're eating and what you're not eating. I think awareness also from a government level, there should be something where people start giving awareness. The government starts giving people awareness on what you should eat or what you should not eat. Like which is good for you, not good for you. These things should also be monitored.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, again, any kind of tarragon sauce or mushroom sauce, that's like
that just hits.
The greatest hits.
Yeah,
and
like
they
mashed
still
potatoes,
sell.
and they still sell. They still sell. They're literally, if I go to some of the papers of a few restaurants that we have, they're one of the top sellers.
It's just unbelievable. I mean,
it's sad.
Unbelievable. It's just tragic at this point, but it is what it
is.
You
can't help it. So the problem is the damage has been happening from years and years and years and years. And now, because social media and everything has become so much open, and the people are a lot more aware to things. So now people are understanding what's actually wrong. Where they're being, like, for example, you're asking questions. People are asking questions. Why do they sell this? Why do they only sell these kind of things?
Yeah.
Why aren't there other things that we go to the West? Because as you said, exposure is increasing.
Yeah.
People are traveling more. So when they come back, they look at these things, that's where awareness is happening. It's a timely process, but there needs to be structures.
So, I mean, one thing I figured, the group sells, you get sushi, you get a ton of sauce on top. You just make it saucy.
And sushi also, people have those maki rolls.
It's just maki roll. They have maki roll and just like, there's a lot of gloop on top of it.
Exactly. If you go to Japan and have one of those izakaya experiences, it's a completely different
It's a different experience.
It's a completely different world. From the way they slice the fish, the kind of fish they're using, how fresh is it? And that also goes back the chain. From the fisheries all the way to the chef.
Yeah.
How has it traveled? Has it been kept in temperature controlled where the meat is not being rotten?
From catch to literally the table.
रिक्शे में उठा के बंदा तो नहीं, like he's not getting
wood. Bike पे रिक्शे पे आ रहा है और आराम से दुनिया जहाँ का उस पे जो है धुआं लग रहा है उस पे.
So these kind of things, they need to be structured and controlled. It's very important. And that's when we'll have a better future for us. It gives us more room to play around. We'll actually be able to create chefs. We'll be able to create different types of restaurants, serve different cuisines in that. So it gives us room to play also.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing.
Otherwise, we're limited.
I mean, I always say in the country, the bar is so low, it's underground.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more room to cover. There's a
lot more.
massive growth potential if you can just get a few things right. So that I fully agree with. In terms of desserts, what would be the greatest hits there?
Desserts?
Yeah.
Internationally or local?
Local. I mean local.
Local, I have...
What just sells like anything? That's like the first thing people would ask for.
Bread pudding.
Bread pudding, huh?
Yeah. Or the molten lava cake.
I think that just peaked in like mid-2010s.
It still does.
Okay.
Still does well.
Still does?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might not see in that way because we look at numbers. We look at itemized sales report, right?
Okay.
That gives us the entire understanding of what is selling and what is not. And if I look at that, it still sells. Anything with chocolate. People love it.
I mean, I get molten lava cake from DawnNews.
Yeah. It's good. It's not
great.
bad.
Yeah.
Like 2 at night, you're like, it's not
exactly.
bad.
Exactly. 700 mein to aate. Like, why not?
Apart from that, anything with chocolate, and I think recently that has really exploded is Lotus.
Yeah, I think Lotus has been there. It's been exploding for a while. It's like the tarragon of desserts.
Exactly. I think first it was Nutella, and then Lotus took over.
Okay.
And it's been a staple.
It's been a staple. Lotus.
Anything with Lotus.
Or 3 milk.
Yeah, 3 milk is also, yes, that is also a hot seller. Thanks to Auntie Manover, to be honest.
I mean, now there's just 3 milk is everywhere.
And there are different versions to it also, if you look at it. The ones that I've had internationally, they were just plain cakes.
Yeah.
Like vanilla cake, a good vanilla sponge cake. That's what it was. With like using 3 different kinds of milks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay, that's my... Beverages. So I've felt over the years, carbonated drinks, I've taken a dip. Like, I just keep drinking them twice a day, every day. But I don't see them much in restaurants anymore.
That's also changing. If you look at the health sector in Pakistan, that has been changing. People are becoming a lot more health conscious, where you see a lot more people going to gym, working out, trying to eat right. So that's where I think it's got too much sugars. And if you see, there was a study back in the day where they showed a glass of water with like 7 tablespoons
of sugar.
Yeah, so I think that's something that's
it just
clicked.
Stuck. It still stuck with me. I'm like, never mind, it's okay.
So I even do that. So I think that is where soft drinks started losing it, and then people are moving more towards coffees and all. They'll be having coffee with food also. Like sandwich and coffee, that's like the new trend. Everyone's having it. So that's where sodas and all of these, their sales have gone down.
Yeah, I cannot imagine having sandwich and coffee. Like, doesn't make sense.
You could.
I will.
Like soup and sandwich, that works, but yeah.
Coffee.
I've done that.
I mean, I'll just have a croissant with coffee.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
also,
Nothing
that's an amazing, what do you call, that's a golden
That's it,
vertical
that's it,
combo.
that is
You can't
true.
go wrong with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, perfect. So, I mean, Zaryan, just we'll just wrap it at almost an hour at this point. If someone wants to open a restaurant here, and there are people, I know people like a student of mine actually runs, he started from scratch, he's got a nice burger place and everything, and he's making good steady money, but always there are multiple issues. What advice would you give to people who are passionate about this, and what to look for, what pitfalls to avoid, how to really take it forward? What would be your advice as someone who's really spent time in this industry?
First of all, you need to do a proper market study of what you want to literally serve to people. Don't go with what's already happening or what others are doing. Try creating something, because they need, anyone who comes in, first of all, get some experience. Either do an apprenticeship or a stage or something somewhere. Internationally, if you want to do it, locally, if you want to do it, get a little bit of knowledge of what you want to do or what products you're going to handle. Because you can be passionate about it, then you're understanding if it's not there for any product, there's no point in doing it. You'll be serving over a period of time, you'll understand, and then you'll be forced, because you won't be making money, to make desperate decisions in serving things that you don't want to. So instead of doing that, open small, make sure you're in the right area, there's a good visibility wherever you're opening it. Secondly, you're being honest with what you're serving to people. Good quality products, try sourcing them, they are available, but you need to really go through it. You need to understand where, what comes from, where to get products from, and then you start doing it.
How do you control costs in this? Because a lot of people...
It's very difficult now.
Because
now these days it's becoming more
I've
difficult.
seen people not calculating margins on their products, and that is one thing. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are restaurateurs, and one thing that I've seen them struggle initially is where they don't calculate margins on their products.
They're supposed to. How is it starting then?
Vibes.
No, that can't work. Then you're just going to another shop, looking at their prices, and just
That's
comparing.
basically what.
You
That's
can't do
literally
that.
what happens.
You cannot do that. You cannot do that. That's like you're basically preparing for failure.
Yeah, that's basically what happens. And when I ask them what's the margin on this specific product, they're like, what's that?
What? How are they running the business?
Just vibes.
You can't do that. You need to have an understanding of what cost, what prices you're going to keep products at. Like, it needs to be feasible for the business also.
What kind of a gross margin should people be looking at?
It varies from product to product, because
on average, a restaurant should, a good restaurant, successful restaurant that will survive and not just close down in 6 months, what kind of gross margin
it
should
varies
have?
from 50 to 80%,
50
even
to
sometimes 100%.
Yeah.
Like, it depends.
But the bare minimum is 50%.
Exactly, 50% though you should have it. Because that gives you leverage also a little bit.
Yeah.
Where if, for example, like petrol prices are going up, so a lot of times we don't increase prices, we bear it in that. That we don't want people to get affected.
So it gives you some room to
exactly,
work with.
room to play. So 50 to 80% is a good margin.
All
to
right.
keep.
Perfect. Thank you, Zaryan. It
Thank
was
you
a
so much.
pleasure.
Pleasure
An
meeting you.
absolutely wonderful conversation. Really
you.
happy that you could join us today.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. This is it for another episode of All Things Money, where we really dug into food. And until next time, take care and goodbye.